Welcome to the 14th session for the series Test Automation Framework for Web Applications built using Cypress and JavaScript. In the last session, we implemented the page object model design pattern at the components level. In this session, we'll create the base page class that will have all the common operations, all the common methods which you want to perform with the web elements. Like we can perform the click operation, we can perform the mouse over, we can type some data, fill some data, right? So we're going to do that. Let me jump onto the VS Code directly and let me create a new file. Let's copy it. So let me create a new file only. BasePage.js. Okay. So this is basically a base page class. In the same way, we can actually export it so that other classes can use it. Export default new what base page. Okay. So what were the common, what are the operations we used? Basically, in the login page, if we go, we were filling and clicking on the buttons, elements, right? So, what we can do basically, we can actually write down the methods. So, for example, let me name the method as click on web element. Okay. And what we can do basically, we can take the element as an argument, element, and we can perform element dot click. Similarly, what we can do, we can actually fill fill what text box, right? You're filling the credentials inside the text boxes, right? So this was the element, and that next argument we can take it as text to fill. Okay, so element dot what, this was the method name type which we were using, and then we can provide text to fill. Okay, now how can we use this message methods basically which we have defined in the base page class? So let me go to the login page class now, and let me import the base page. Okay, let me just small it, and now I was using this, right? So let me just comment it and write it down here. So base page has which method? So fill text box, right? So which text box you want to fill? Basically we want to fill this text box username with what content? With the username which is coming from a test case, right? So you see, this is how we can use actually. So let me just comment it, do it, this one, that one, and this. Now for similarly for the click as well. So base page dot what, click on web element. On which web element you want to click? So this dot elements dot, it's a button, right? So button login. So you see, now what we are doing basically, we are actually calling the method which is present inside the base page. Okay, now for example, if you want to perform any loggings mean, for example, let me just type the log. Inside the Cypress test runner, you will be able to see these messages. Like, what are you trying to do? I'm trying to do fill some information. Filling what? I'm filling the username in the text box. Which text box it is? It is the username text box, right? Or maybe I can directly provide here. Username text box. Okay, done. Similarly, you can provide here. This is the password text box. And what are you doing here? Basically, I am clicking on the login button. Okay, so this is how you can actually define the statements here itself only, and you don't need to change in every method. For example, currently we have only this login page class. Okay, we may have multiple classes. For example, you have modules, other modules like add to cart, products page, billing page, payments page. Okay, so everywhere I cannot go and add all this logging statements. No, 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 no. I'm just so sorry, so sorry, so sorry. I've added it in the wrong class. I'm so sorry. I have to add it here actually. So sorry, so sorry. Yeah. So likewise, this login page, I can have multiple classes. So I can just pass it here. So I'm clicking on what? Clicking on the button. Okay. And I'm filling some information. Filling what? Filling this in some text box. Okay. If I want, I can pass the element name as well in the method. For example, here you are not able to see like on which basically web element with name. Okay. The second parameter you can take it as element name. Okay. Now element name if you want, so you can just do the concatenation part here and you can press. Now if you use this basically, now for example, if you want to click on this button, right? So instead of this method, you can use this method. Okay. What is the button? It's a login, right? Login. So in the test runner, what will be printed? Like it will be printed like clicking on the login button. Okay, then it will perform the click operation. We'll see in the reports as well, like, or let me just execute it. Maybe let's go to the package.json. I'll show you like how these logs will be opening, will be shown in the test runner. Run on the script. Cypress is getting open now, and end-to-end testing. Maybe Edge I can select. Start executing. Clicking on the login, it should start execution of the test cases. Okay, okay. We did some issues. Maybe I know what is the issue I did. Yes, re-execute it. Okay, we have some other issue here as well. I've debugged the issue. Basically what was the issue, while passing this login button. Okay, so we had to add this button login. Okay, now if you go to Cypress, you close it, you start the testing again. Edge browser, click on the login, it should start the execution of the test case. Now you see we're able to provide the data. Now if you open it, okay, so you see there is something called login filling standard user in the text box. In which text box we didn't mention, right? But for the button we did this part. So clicking on the login button. So this is how it will be helpful basically to create the base page. So at one point of time only you have to create, I mean these logging statements. This is the place where you have to add, okay, and not in the all the classes. So you may have different pages like checkout, payment, billing, cart, right? So base page is going to help you in that moment. Okay. So I think we are done with this session. In the next session, we are going to see like some utilities part, like how can we record the videos for the test execution? How can we retry our failed test cases? Okay. So we'll see in the next session. That's all for this session. Thank you for your time. Have a good